because we're about to see one of the most eagerly anticipated cars of this 2026 F1 season. Let's go live now to Maranello and see the new Ferrari, which in the last few minutes has come out of the garage in Fiorano. Ted Kravitz is there. What was the big moment like, Ted? Is this going to be the car that Lewis Hamilton has really coveted to bring him success in those red overalls?
Well, he'll certainly be hoping so, Craig. But, you know, the launch of any Ferrari is always a very special occasion. But this one, really more so. The fans have been up on the hill, and we've just seen it. It's come out of the car, it's come out of the garage, and is now going around this Fiorano track. And take a look. It actually looks smaller. It looks different. There's a bit more white on the engine cover as part of the team's visual identity, which has changed.
Lewis Hamilton, 2026, Bahrain. Ferrari's new SF-26 ahead of the 2026 season has stunned every fan, every teammate and ex-drivers. Nico Rosberg, the man who beat Hamilton to a world championship, looks absolutely stunned after Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc's insane performance ahead of the 2026 season. And today we are breaking down his driving style, his records, and why everyone is shocked and stunned. Let's get into it.
The team's visual identity, which has changed a little bit for this year. But the thing I've noticed straight away is this opening of the rear wing that we're seeing that all of these cars are going to be doing this year with the new regulations. And the new engine sound, Craig, that's really different. And we started to hear this with the other big team that ran their car yesterday, which is, of course, Mercedes. But now I'm seeing, and more importantly, hearing it on the Ferrari. It really does sound different. It sounds louder, it sounds more raspy. Of course, this is to do with the new engines. They've changed one of the key components.
Okay, so first, if you are new here, let me tell you why Lewis Hamilton is not a normal driver. This man has 7 world championships. 7. No other driver in Formula One history has more than that. We are talking 103 race wins, 104 pole positions, the most in the history of the sport. Nobody is even close to those numbers. And his driving style? It is something truly special. He is smooth, calculated and incredibly precise under braking. He finds time in corners where nobody else even looks for it.
A word from Nico Rosberg. It has been a hard fight all season.
First of all, even for me, it's emotional to watch this, yeah? Because of course I witnessed it from so close, and it's the greatest partnership in Formula One history, driver-team partnership. Crazy that it's coming to an end. And for him also, he's been with the Mercedes family since, what is the number?
Way back,
30 years almost. I mean, it's really close to 30, close to 30 years. So how was it? He certainly has one of, or maybe the greatest natural talent the sport has ever seen. Yeah, it's just unbelievable. And there's so many occasions where we have the same car, we go out, we come in, and you look at the data, what he's done with that car, and it's just like, that's not even human. Like, what is that? Like, what is that? And I was a decent driver as well, you know? So I'm just, so many occasions where it's like, this is like insane. So unbelievable talent.
He reads a race like a chess grandmaster. Tyre management, overtaking, strategy calls. Hamilton is always thinking 3 moves ahead of everyone around him. And the thing about Hamilton that makes him different from every other driver is that he has always been fastest when the pressure is highest. When the championship is on the line, when the moment is biggest, that is when Lewis Hamilton shows up. But going into 2025, people started asking serious questions because something went very, very wrong. Because let me tell you, 2025 for Lewis Hamilton at Ferrari was the worst season of his entire career. No podiums, 0. He finished the season on just 156 points, compared to Leclerc's 242 points. He was getting passed by a Sauber in Barcelona. He called his own Ferrari on the radio live in front of everyone. The worst balance I have ever felt in a racing car. And Nico Rosberg, who knows Hamilton better than almost anyone on this planet, went on Sky F1 and said it was a very dark situation. He said, and I am quoting him directly here, "It is hard to watch." Hard to watch. That is Nico Rosberg talking about Lewis Hamilton. Even David Coulthard came out and said Hamilton had lost that half a tenth that always separated him from his teammates. That edge, that thing that made him Hamilton. People were genuinely saying out loud, is this the end? Is the greatest driver in Formula One history finished? And then came 2026, and everything changed. After Bahrain testing, Hamilton posted something on Instagram that sent every single F1 fan into an absolute meltdown. He wrote, "I'm not going anywhere, so stick with me. For a moment, I forgot who I was. But thanks to you and your support, you're not going to see that mindset again. Brother, I forgot who I was." A 7-time world champion is telling you he forgot who he was. That is the most honest thing any driver has ever posted on social media. And the fact that he said it after Bahrain testing, after what Ferrari showed the entire world, tells you everything about where his head is right now. He is back. And what he and Leclerc did in that SF-26 has left the paddock absolutely speechless. Now let's talk about the car. Because the SF-26 is not just fast, it is doing things that nobody has ever seen in Formula One. First, the rear wing. This thing flips 270 degrees, not 90 degrees, not 180 degrees, 270 degrees. Nothing like this has ever appeared in Formula One before. Hamilton debuted it during testing, and the entire paddock just stopped and stared. On top of that, Ferrari have put a heat-resistant wing element right next to the exhaust, an area of insane heat that no other team has even dared to touch. And Ferrari just went there anyway. And then there is the turbo configuration. Ferrari are believed to be running a smaller turbo, which is why their race starts are so aggressive and so powerful under the new 2026 regulations, at a time when every other team is struggling just to get off the line cleanly. And here is the most important thing. The FIA checked the rear wing. They confirmed it is 100% legal. The FIA's Nicolas Tombazis said, "We wanted to give teams more creative freedom and Ferrari's solution is fine." Fine. The most insane rear wing in Formula One history, and the FIA said it is completely fine. Now James Vowles, the Williams team boss and one of the sharpest minds in the entire paddock, looked at Ferrari's car and said, "They're constantly developing. They've cleverly packaged the active aerodynamics in the end plates." And then he admitted it was not even an approach he had considered. A rival team boss saying Ferrari did something that never even crossed his mind. That is how stunned everyone is right now. And then the times came out. Charles Leclerc on day one of the second Bahrain test posts a 1 minute 33.739. That is 0.313 seconds clear of Lando Norris, the reigning world champion, in a McLaren, and 0.300 of that gap came in just one single sector of the lap. One sector. Leclerc ended the entire week with the fastest qualifying simulation of any driver in any team, fastest, all week in Bahrain. Hamilton took the car in the afternoon sessions, racking up 73 laps with heavy long-run data, looking comfortable and confident in a car that just 6 months ago he said felt like an alien machine. And even Formula One CEO Stefano Domenicali came out and said publicly, "Ferrari seems to be starting from a good base. Charles and Lewis are confident and we should be too." Even Ferrari boss Frédéric Vasseur stayed calm and said the championship will be decided on who can develop fastest, not just who is quickest in Melbourne, meaning they are not even showing everything yet. And they are already the fastest car on track. Now let's talk about the rivals, because while Ferrari was stunning everyone in Bahrain, the other big teams were having an absolute nightmare.
G'day, is Lewis Hamilton going out with Kim Kardashian? That was the question on many people's lips today when F1 resumed with media in the paddock today here in Bahrain. The question came from a female journalist in this form. A lot's been said in the media about the company you were in at the Super Bowl. Is it safe to say you enjoyed the company more than the game? Because I understand it was a pretty ordinary game. Of course, pics of the pair have gone crazy across the internet. That and the Bad Bunny performance actually knocked a bit of wind out of Cadillac's launch, which was via a commercial in that telecast. Back to that question, what did Lewis say? I don't comment on those sorts of things. It's private life.
Crazy. This is unbelievable. Yeah. I can't believe you're finally here.
I don't know how you're going to top that.
Lewis Hamilton breaks silence about Kim Kardashian and said, "Enough is enough." The 7-time Formula One world champion, one of the most decorated athletes on the planet, has finally had it. The rumours, the headlines, the paddock jokes, the tabloid sources, and he shut all of it down with just one line. "It's my private life. I'm not talking about that."
For me, being a racing driver as a sportsman, I never get these opportunities.
I'm just here to support him.
If you found the love of your life, he comes into the picture, do you think you would get married again?
I would, absolutely.
Sighting of Kim Kardashian and Lewis Hamilton making out at the Super Bowl suggests a rumored relationship with Kendall Jenner's ex. Kim Kardashian just did the one thing you're never supposed to do. She's being linked to Kendall Jenner's ex. Same man, different sister. They're spotted together at the Super Bowl like it's casual. Then a romantic Paris trip leaks out. Is Kim desperate for attention?
Because it looks like she's dating Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah, this is weird because his exes are Nicole Scherzinger, Rihanna, Kendall Jenner. They were rumored to be together.
God, Lewis Hamilton.
When did being like a race car driver become like a hot profession?
F1 always was.
But hold on, that is not the whole story. Because what happened before that statement, what went on behind the scenes, and what sources are now claiming about kids, a move to LA, and a blended family, that is what we are here to unpack today. This is not all. Subscribe to the channel for more breaking stories like this. But right now, let us set the scene and tell you the complete story.
Now this next story, I could not believe. This story about Kim Kardashian and F1 star Lewis Hamilton, that they're dating. Now, normally that wouldn't be that surprising, two famous people getting together, except Lewis Hamilton has previously dated Kim's younger sister, Kendall Jenner. Michael, fans online are up in arms about this. They're calling this coupling disgusting. Are they being unfair because love is love and you can't help who you fall in love with?
You know what? I think the public is being very fair. This is disgusting, but maybe they're really trying to. Maybe it's getting the most out of the day. They're gonna save so much time at Christmas dinner that you don't even have to make the introductions. Like, I think you know mom. I think you know him. You definitely know my sister. You know her in the biblical sense. I don't know.
Oh gosh.
Or maybe he's a race car driver and he's just gonna speed run the whole family. Mom is on his list. Who knows?
Well, yes, Chris is looking very good these days, but the Kardashian men don't do too well. There's a bit of a curse when it comes to men who get together with one of the sisters or even men within the family. So Lewis Hamilton better be careful about that, Michael, because he's in a very dangerous occupation. He's got to be very careful.
Let us take you back to Super Bowl 60. Levi's Stadium, California, one of the biggest sporting events on the planet. Tens of thousands of fans packed inside. The Seattle Seahawks facing off against the New England Patriots. Bad Bunny lighting up the halftime show. And sitting right there, side by side, in what would become the most talked about seats in the entire stadium. Lewis Hamilton and Kim Kardashian. Now these are two of the most famous people alive. Lewis Hamilton, 41 years old, 7-time Formula One champion, now driving for Ferrari, a man who has won more world championships than almost any driver in the history of the sport. And Kim Kardashian, 45 years old, reality TV mogul, Skims founder, mother of 4, one of the most recognizable faces on earth. The moment those photos dropped, The internet absolutely exploded. But here is what you need to know. This did not come out of nowhere, because before the Super Bowl, the pair had already been spotted together at a luxury hotel in the Cotswolds in England, before heading to London, and then Paris, London, the Cotswolds, the Super Bowl. This was not a coincidence, people. Now, fast forward to Bahrain, pre-season testing. The entire Formula One grid is here, preparing for the new season. And Lewis Hamilton, he thought he could escape the noise inside the sport he loves. He was wrong. Because during the official F1 annual driver photo shoot, where all 22 drivers gathered together in a garage, Mercedes decided to mic up their star driver, George Russell, and capture some behind-the-scenes content. What happened next? Pure comedy gold. Russell walks straight over to Hamilton, puts his arm around him, and with a huge grin asks, and I quote, "All loved up, what's the latest?" Hamilton's response? He said absolutely nothing, just shook his head, smiled, and tried to redirect the conversation toward where he should be sitting for the photos. Russell gave him a pat on the back and left it there, but the damage was done because it was all on camera. Mercedes posted the video on their social media, captioned F1 driver photo shoot, George Chaos edition, and the clip went viral instantly. Millions of views, thousands of comments. Everyone wanted to know the same thing George Russell was asking. But it did not stop with George Russell. Out in the media pen in Bahrain, Sky Sports F1 reporter Ted Kravitz revealed that Hamilton had been directly questioned about the Kardashian rumors during a media session. Kravitz reported that a journalist asked Hamilton, "Did you enjoy your company more than the game at the Super Bowl?" And that is when Lewis Hamilton looked the reporters dead in the eye and delivered the line that sent the internet into a frenzy. "It's my private life. I'm not talking about that. Done. Final. No smile this time. No deflection. Just a clear, firm, absolute shutdown." Now, for some people, that silence speaks louder than any confirmation ever could. For others, it is simply a man drawing a very reasonable line around his personal life. But either way, the story did not stop there, because the tabloids, they were just getting started. Here is something that many people have missed in the middle of all this Super Bowl hysteria. Lewis Hamilton and Kim Kardashian have known each other for years. We are talking over a decade of friendship here. Hamilton was close with Kardashian and her then-husband Kanye West. The two men attended GQ's Men of the Year Awards together in London. They were both at Glastonbury in 2016. Kanye West even invited Hamilton to an Easter brunch, where West himself recalled the moment, saying Hamilton came over to his house, they played music in his studio, and everyone's reaction was overwhelmingly positive. Hamilton has also built a close friendship with Kim's sister Kendall Jenner over the years, and Kris Jenner, the family matriarch herself, has been spotted cheering Hamilton on at the Monaco Grand Prix. In 2021, Hamilton and Kardashian posed together backstage at the Wall Street Journal Innovator Awards, with Hamilton praising her influence across fashion and entertainment. So when sources started saying that this romance feels different because of their long-standing friendship, that context actually makes a lot of sense. This is not two strangers who just met. This is a connection built over 10 years. Now, this is where things get serious. Because beyond the Super Bowl photos and the Paddock jokes, Heat magazine has published a report that has stopped a lot of people in their tracks. Sources close to the pair claim that Hamilton and Kardashian have already been having serious conversations about starting a family together. According to The Insider, Hamilton was upfront from the beginning, telling Kardashian that he did not want to risk their long friendship for something casual. The source said, and I quote, "Lewis was upfront and said he didn't want to risk that for something casual." The report goes further, claiming that Hamilton has long wanted to be a father, and that the desire has only grown stronger as his racing career moves into its later stages. He reportedly does not want to be an absent father, and sources claim the pair have already discussed the possibility of Hamilton relocating to Los Angeles and what their blended family could look like together. Now Kardashian, who still reportedly has frozen eggs, is said to have discussed the possibility of using a surrogate. The insider said she reassured him she's prepared to have a family with him.
Former Formula One racing driver Michael Schumacher.
Michael Schumacher.
One of the greatest drivers of all time.
Greatest driver in Formula One history.
In critical condition.
The Formula One legend Michael Schumacher's catastrophic skiing injury.
They're reporting on that tragic ski accident to the town of Albertville in the French Alps.
And we can say that he is fighting for his life.
Michael Schumacher,